Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lone Striker Football Show. This is a special I'm doing today. I'll be talking about Chelsea, and this show is actually called Sorry Sarri, in reference to Chelsea manager Maurizio Sarri and the sorry state that they're in. Even though, look where they are in the league, they're doing not too badly, but the state of the club is actually really bad. Like, they're on the down, and you can tell. So I've made some notes here I want to go through. The first thing I want you to talk about is Eden Hazard. Hazard, who's 28 years old now, should be in his prime. This season he's been doing okay, drifting in and out of it sometimes. For a player of that stature, he should be doing it every single game. Like, he should be just winning it for them all the time, but he doesn't. And at the same time, with his talent, he does stand out amongst his peers at the club. Now, could you say that Hazard's head has been turned by all the speculation for the last 18 months or so about Real Madrid looking to sign him? Probably you could say that, but he has to step up his game and show that he wants to be up there with one of the best in the world. And some people consider him as one of the best in the world, but for me, he just doesn't show it. He's not consistent enough. Ever since he's come, like I said, you see some blinding moments from him. Then other times he just disappears. So he had a great World Cup. I just don't know. Hazard and the uncertainty around his future, I think, is also at the heart of what's happening at Chelsea. Because you would think that a manager like Sarri would want to build the team around his best player, and that is Hazard by a mile. It doesn't seem to be any sort of communication in that regard, or what the plan is for Hazard. I actually think that he's going to leave at the end of the season, and he'll cost the club more than 100 mil. Like I said, he's still 28. He's in his prime now, or should be hitting his prime now for the next couple of years. Yeah, I just think that if Hazard leaves, who are they going to replace him with? Somebody like Griezmann, you're going to have to spend the same amount that you sell him for to bring a player of that sort of caliber back in. And there aren't many out there, really, to be honest with you. So I expect Eden Hazard to go. And that uncertainty is one of the problems that they've had this season. And when you look around their whole squad, their players, they just seem stale now from front to back. And I'll start with the front. Players like Pedro, for example, came from Barcelona. He's won it all. World Cup winner, European Cup winner, Champions League, multiple Champions Leagues. He's just come in, and he just, for the last few years, all he does is come off the bench, scores the odd goal, and that's it. His overall game is non-existent half the time. What has he added to the team? And what I mean is, when I'm picking out these players, is that they've got such a big stature in terms of what they've won. They just don't seem to... They don't have the desire, I think, the hunger and the desire to do it in the league and to do it week in, week out. They're getting a fat paycheck and just sitting there. I think Pedro is one of them. And then the other player that I wanted to talk about as well is Willian. Willian now, who's 30 years old. Have we really seen the best of Willian being consistent in a Chelsea shirt? We haven't. Not only does he not even start every single game, but even when he does start, does he actually take it by the scruff of the neck? Because he's got so much talent. We've seen... He has a lot of pace as well, and we hardly get to see him knocking it and running past someone, ever. He's got a brilliant shot. He'll score some wonderful goals like Coutinho used to, from the edge of the box towards the left-hand goalie's left. But we don't see that enough. And for Brazilian international, who did well in the World Cup, to be fair, you'd expect more, and you'd expect Willian to be one of the players that can take the team forward, but he doesn't. So when you look at the front line, it's like uncertainty, Hazard, Pedro, nothing, Willian in and out, inconsistent. And then the other player that's just a complete joke is Alvaro Morata. What is that about? £75 million, second season at the club. He's just never looked like a player who was comfortable with the physicality of the league until today. He hasn't looked like he's improved. Yeah, some of his movement off the ball is quite good, but he doesn't have the power or powerful running that he had either at Madrid or in Italy for Juventus. So for all that money, you'd expect Morata and all of those players to really take the game to the opposition, show what they've got in the best league in the world, but they don't. So you can't even, Hazard will make the team, but you can't pick anyone around him. Who else is there? They might as well play Giroud. At least you know what you're getting with Oliver Giroud. You know, I think Arsenal were wrong to let him go. At least you know what you're going to get, and he performs coming off the bench. Morata's a waste of. I don't see. I mean, all those 4 players might not even be there by the end of the season. And like I mentioned, you're going to have to spend a lot of money in order to get world-class players up front. Players like Griezmann, you know, Mbappe, will he even leave? Who knows? But if there's one thing, it's that Abramovich he isn't reluctant to spend. You know, although we've seen it in Europe last few seasons, there has been a bit of a reluctance of getting those massive fees, you know, generally. Oh, the other one. Let's talk about Sarri and what he's done and how he's completely screwed up this team. Like, Kante, one of the best, if not the best, in his position in the world on his day. And he's shown that at Leicester consistently. He's shown that Chelsea the last few seasons. He's shown that for France in the World Cup. He's shown that Kante's best position is defensive midfield, right in the middle of the pitch as the furthest player back. And if not necessarily the furthest player back, the centre of a 3, right? Now, for some insane reason, Sarri's decided to move him out and put him further on the right and put Jorginho in the middle. And he's completely changed the dynamic of that team. You've basically taken the heart out. That's like putting Xavi on the wing for Barcelona back in the days. And Kante, even though he has got those qualities to go forward, better than a lot of attacking players actually when he does do it. But that's not what he can do. He can give to the team. What he does is he wins the ball back. He starts to play from deep. And like I said, he's one of the best, if not the best in the world at that. And by signing Jorginho and putting Jorginho in that position, that deep line position, it's completely changed the dynamic. Jorginho can't handle the Premier League at all in that position. Yeah, he's a decent passer, but he's nothing special. Kante needs to go back there, and they need to sign some midfielders that can complement Kante and build the team around him. You know, Fabregas is now gone. They should have. Who are they going to put in midfield? Kovacic, I think, is a decent player, very good talent actually. He's still a young player. He's very good, but then you'll have Kante there, you have Kovacic. Jorginho can't really play anywhere apart from the position that he's playing now, so he has to go out the team. If Sarri knows what's good for him, I can't believe that Sarri can't see that not playing Kante where he's supposed to be, where he's best, is causing such a disruption to the team. It's amazing, actually. So that's a massive problem for them, is the position of Kante in the team. And we're talking about players and the staleness of the squad. If we go into defence, it's the same thing. Marcos Alonso, even though he's got a decent free kick, very good free kick, overall, he's not all that at all. Pretty crap, really, when you think about it. He was getting booed the other day. He just doesn't have it. Again, doesn't have that type of mobility. Doesn't have the pace. He has no pace, like Jorginho. Like they just don't have pace to play in the Premier League, you know? That's Alonso. Azpilicueta, yeah, he's been a legend. He's been a good servant, but he just can't handle it. He's old now. He's like 33 or something. He can't handle it. And then David Luiz, 1 minute he's like Bonucci, passing a 50-yard pass onto, you know, assisting someone. The next minute he doesn't even know where the ball is. It's like Jekyll and Hyde with him, and he's always been like that. And that's who you're relying on your defence. The only decent defender, don't even talk about Gary Cahill. Bloody hell. And Christensen's still young. I think he's okay, nothing special. The only out-and-out defender they've really got back there is Rudiger, and he's been all right, to be fair. He doesn't try to be something he's not. He's not a ball player. He's not going to bring it out as much. But he's a battling ram, and he's strong, and, you know, he gets the ball clear. But with those aging, stale players around him, like, what else can you do? They signed a Zamparetta, remember, last season? And he's been rubbish. All right, that wasn't a Sarri signing, but it's just been poor. When you look at this Chelsea team, there's no spark. Like I said, there's not much pace. There's not much of that, of anything that makes you gasp and think, wow, good move. You know, you see, even sometimes with Arsenal putting together a move, you see United now, you know, under Solskjaer, like these players expressing themselves and being free. Like Chelsea's just so dead. That's one of the biggest problems. They need an overhaul of this squad completely from front to back. So let's see what Abramovich is going to do, if he's going to dig deep. But Sarri, for now, he needs to recognise that he's playing Kante out of position. They're bringing in Higuain. I think that's a move of desperation. Higuain scored like something like 1 in 13 for AC Milan. Yeah, he's been a great player, but he's 31 now as well, and he doesn't look like he's up for it anymore. So you're going to bring a player short on confidence anyway in the middle of a season to the hardest league in the world. So good luck with that. Saying that, he'll probably come in and score a few, but that's not the point. So that's the problem with Chelsea. I think Sarri as well, in a bit like Mourinho, you've seen him in a couple of press conferences recently. He's almost like he's losing it. What he did the other day, bringing the translator in, basically cussing the players down indirectly by saying he's not getting any much, or directly saying he's not getting much out of the players. They're not working hard enough. Was that a good move? How's that will that demoralize the team for their next game? Who knows? I'm not quite sure, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens to Chelsea in the run-in as we're approaching mid to end of the season now. But yeah, that's the problem. Sorry, Sarri, I'm afraid. Yeah, will Mauricio Sarri be there at the end of the season?